Hi, friends. My name is Casey. I use the pronouns she, her. I'm currently on Coast Salish territory, and this is Spring Slow Flow. And in this practice, we actually won't be standing. We'll do our flow from the knees or a forward fold. So I do recommend some props, a blanket or folded towel, blocks, books, stool or chair, anything that can kind of bring the ground up may come in handy. And in a moment, I will read one of my favorite poems, Spring by Mary Oliver. And in this poem, she kind of talks about what we are going through coming out of the hibernation of winter. And I like it because this poem is a little bit grittier. It's not just flowers and bird song that you might think of in spring. And she describes a perfect love, and that's really authentic to you. And it doesn't always have to be about beauty or blossoming. And in her own Mary Oliver way, she talks about how to love the world or show our love to the world means paying attention to it and being grateful for its simple gifts. So we'll talk about that throughout class. Let's get started in Varasana. And as you come to your knees, feel free to utilize some of your props right from the beginning. So maybe kneeling on a blanket. So especially if you are on a hard surface. And if sitting back on your heels doesn't feel good for you today, then placing a block or some kind of support under your sit bones can be really helpful. And take a moment seated. You can start to close your eyes or just soften your gaze down. And start to notice your breath. We're not changing or fixing anything, just observe. Take a moment to feel grounded. I will present some gentle twists, and we'll focus a lot on opening the mid-back, the thoracic spine, areas that might get really tight after a season of rest. And we'll start to move into some gentle cow-cat spine. So inhale, lift your heart up, maybe even turn your chin up. Exhale, cat spine, tuck your chin in. You could even capture your knees or rock back. Inhale, cow spine, roll your shoulders up, back, and down as you lift up. Exhale, cat spine, you can rock back. One more here, inhale. Exhale. Inhale, return to your neutral spine, sit up tall, shoulders over your hips. And exhale, find a gentle twist to your right. So right hand comes outside your right thigh. Rather, your left hand comes outside your right thigh, and your right hand could reach back maybe to a block or just reaching toward the ground. As you open your chest, letting your shoulder blades draw toward the spine, maybe gaze over your back shoulder. Then go ahead and come back to center. We'll take cow-cat again. This time, maybe add a little bit more exaggeration or movement. You could incorporate your arms. So inhale, cow spine. Maybe reach your hands back as you lift your heart up. Exhale, cat spine. You could reach forward as you round your upper back. Inhale, cow, and let it be organic. Just find what feels good, being fluid. Exhale. Inhale, lift up, open. Exhale. Inhale, sit tall, neutral spine. Exhale, twist to your left. So right hand to the left thigh, open your chest. And your left hand could actually just stay on your hip if that feels fine, or start to reach back. So from this Varasana position, our hips really can't move. So you might feel a little constricted or not that much range of motion, and that's okay. We're still warming up. And slowly make your way back to center. We'll come to tabletop. So from your hands and knees, maybe hands stack directly under your shoulders, or you might like a little wider base. That's fine. Inhale, cow pose. Drop your belly. Lift your tailbone and the crown of your head up. Exhale, cat pose. Really press through your palms and your knees as you tuck your chin in and round. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. One more. Just moving slowly between your poses and with your breath. Inhale, return, tabletop, neutral spine. Exhale, child's pose, sink back to your heels. And we'll be here for a little bit, so let this feel comfortable in your body. Extended child's pose if you prefer, knees come wide. An option to just pillow your forehead to your hands or to fists. You could always extend your arms out if that feels good. And if you live in a tight body, placing a pillow or blanket on top of your shins, or rather your calves, and just allowing some space between your hips or lower to your forearms. So take time to settle into your Varasana and breathe. This is a pose where we turn inward physically, mentally. Spring by Mary Oliver. Somewhere a black bear has just risen from sleep and is staring down the mountain. All night in the brisk and shallow restlessness of early spring, I think of her 4 black fists flicking the gravel, her tongue like a red fire touching the grass, the cold water. There is only one question: how to love this world. I think of her rising like a black and leafy ledge to sharpen her claws against the silence of the trees. Whatever else my life is, with its poems and its music and its cities, it is also this dazzling darkness coming down the mountain, breathing and tasting. All day I think of her white teeth, her wordlessness, her perfect love. Start to bring a little more awareness to your breath. When I teach kids yoga, we talk about bear breath, breathing in and out through your nose. When a bear is hibernating or sleeping, this is how they breathe. So you could start to incorporate that inhale through your nose and exhale through your nose. Keep that for the rest of your practice as you make your way back up, tabletop. Spread your 10 fingers wide, stacking again, neutral spine. Send your right toes to the back of your mat. Keep your toes tucked under, and you could add a little rock, just gentle forward and back, just like you're waking up and starting to stretch and move. You can press your hands into your mat. Really look for the stretch through the back of your leg. And then come to stillness, bringing your shoulders back over your wrists, and pick your right heel up just to about hip height. Get really active through your lifted leg. Knee and toes stay pointed down. And notice if you're starting to arch in your back. That makes sense, but stay active, drawing your navel up and in. Use your core strength. This is a great place to stay, or start to come to your left fingertips, a little tent in your hand. Or reach your left fingertips to the front of your space so your bicep is by your ear. Inhale. Exhale, draw your knee and your elbow together, but find a little fist with your left hand as you draw everything in. Inhale, reach back out, extend your fingers, extend your toes. Exhale, draw everything in. Make your fist, round your spine. One more, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round. When you round, this time, grab your right shin with your left hand and draw your knee to your chest. And if that doesn't work, you can have both hands down. Just try to pick your right knee up just a little higher. Inhale, extend it out, and pause here. So you could always take your toes down, give it a little rest, shake your hips. We'll stretch those in a moment. But now we're going to move into supported side plank, and I'm going to offer a little challenge. Keep your left toes where they are, pointing back, and open your right hip first. So now your toes are pointing toward the right side of your space. Maybe start to tint your right hand or extend, your right hand up toward the sky. So adding the base leg challenge might work for you today. If not, just kickstand your left toes, get a little bit more stability. And you can try on the supported side plank or supported half moon, similar shapes. Inhale. Exhale, lower your right hand back down. Keep your right leg lifted. Turn your toes and your knee back to your mat. Now cross your right toes to the left side of your mat and gaze over your left shoulder towards your right toes. So a little cross body action. You might have to think that's okay. If you get a little off, that's fine too. And this is a great place to stay, or bend your right knee so it's tucked behind your left and sink your hips back. As you sink your hips back, you could come to forearms, feeling a big stretch to the outer part of your hips. Now this is a great place to stay, or come to your hands, tuck your toes under. And as you straighten your legs, coming to a cross-legged down dog. So your hips come up and back, downward facing dog. Left foot crosses in front of your right. Flex your left toes, pressing the outer edge of your left foot down and draw your left hip back. So lots of different options to kind of get the same stretch, targeting your outer hips. So one layer isn't better. Just take the shape where you really feel sensation. Wherever you are, inhale. Exhale, slowly unwind or lower back down, tabletop. We'll take that all on the other side. Maybe take a moment to sit back, shake out your wrists, kind of flick your hands. And then from tabletop, neutral spine, we'll take it slow, send left toes back. Now, notice if your head is kind of dropping down. You could be looking at your foot, that's fine, but try to lift the back of your head up toward your ceiling and then add or find that stretch. It might feel good to sway your hips, rock forward and back. And then stack your shoulders back over your wrists and pick your left toes up. Again, avoid the sway in your low back. Really fire up your core. Flex through your left foot. Stay here or tent your right hand or reach your fingertips forward. And you might feel less or more stable on this side, so choose the layer that feels good, not exactly what you did before. Inhale. Exhale, draw knee to elbow. Make the fist with your right hand as you round your spine. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round. One more, inhale. Exhale. Pause. Grab your left shin with your right hand and draw it up and in. Try to balance, press in with your left hand. Maybe your right toes are tucked, or press your right shin down. And then inhale, extend. Exhale, lower your right hand down. Maybe keep your right toes as they are as you open your left hip. You could tent your left hand, coming for that supported side plank or half moon. Maybe start to reach your left hand up and open your chest. And notice how your gaze can really help your stability. Gazing down might offer more support. You could add a little challenge by gazing out to the left. Big challenge by gazing up towards your left thumb, maybe. Inhale. Exhale, slowly lower your left hand down. Point your left knee and toes back to your mat. Cross your left toes off to the right edge of your mat and gaze at your right toes. And you can really sway your left hip out to the left, really feel that stretch. Stay here or tuck your left knee behind your right, sink your hips back. I really love this variation of Gomukhasana and Child's Pose. So you can stay here or press your palms down, tuck your toes under, find your cross-legged down dog. Hips reach up and back. Right leg crosses in front of your left as you flex your right foot. Wherever you are, breathing in and out through your nose. Inhale. Exhale slowly. Lower back. Tabletop. Sink back for Child's Pose. We'll add in thread the needle here. So base your left hand. Slide your right arm under your left and lower your right shoulder to your mat. And if your forehead doesn't rest down comfortably, then place a block or some support under your forehead. You could gaze to your left. Maybe start to really press down with your right shoulder. And as we make our way onto the other side, lower your right hand down, thread your left hand under, slowly start to thread the needle. And if your hips are lifted up, that's fine too. And just start to pay attention. If how we show our love to the world is to pay attention and be grateful for its simple gifts, how does that translate in your body? To show love to your body, to yourself, just pay attention. Be grateful for its simple gifts. And unwind out of your thread the needle in child's pose and come to standing on your knees. We'll start to move or prepare for our flow. So as you're standing on your knees, you can have a little space between your knees, but start to activate your adductor muscles. So it's like you're squeezing your inner thighs together. That's going to add some stability and will allow you to kind of move and twist. So inhale, reach your hands high, squeeze your inner thighs. Exhale, sweep your right hand back. And as you do, your right hand could just reach toward your heel or the ground or connect. And if you connect, send your hips forward and really feel that lift in your chest. Inhale, draw your navel in, use your core strength back up to standing on your knees. Exhale, sweep your left hand back. And again, take a moment to kind of see how that feels. You could gaze toward your left heel or up to the ceiling. Let's take that a couple times, flowing with breath. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, sweep back. Right hand to right heel. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, switch. One more each side. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, use your core strength. So really drawing your navel in. Exhale, last one here. Inhale, standing on your knees. Exhale, traditional child's pose. So sink your hips to your heels. You don't have to bring your knees closer together or further apart. And rest your forehead down. Take a moment here as you stretch over your thighs. You get a little compression in your belly as you breathe, but you might be feeling a nice gentle stretch through your low back as well. Inhale, lift back up, standing on your knees. This time hands just can come to hips and step your right foot forward. So you could use blocks to support that transition, but let's stay in more of a 90-90. So your knee is stacked over your ankle and your back hip is over your back knee. We'll add a twist, so left hand to right thigh, similar to what we did seated earlier, and start to open your chest. Maybe right hand stays on your hip or reach your right fingertips back. Now, add some stability with your legs. So press in with your right heel, squeeze your inner thighs, and then draw your shoulder blades toward your spine. You could gaze down, out, or back. Again, adding stability or challenge, whatever you need today. Inhale. Exhale, come back to standing on your knees. We'll switch sides. Bring your left foot forward. Again, take that transition with whatever support you would like. Find your stack 90-90. And when you're ready, start to twist. Right hand to left thigh as you open. And just a note, my legs are on two separate tracks. So you don't have to try and be on a balance beam. You could always go a little wider with your forward foot if that offers stability. Breathing in and out through your nose, active in your legs. Inhale. Exhale back to standing on your knees. We'll find our kneeling flow. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, sweep your right hand back just once. Inhale, back to standing. Exhale, sweep your left hand back. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, child's pose. Ground your forehead down. Just take a breath here. Inhale, come back up to standing. Exhale, step your right foot forward. So I am going to mirror you now so we can kind of open facing each other. We'll move into supported warrior 2. So currently your left toes are pointing straight back. Kickstand your toes so that you're in this warrior 2 shape, but on your back knee. Right knee tracks in line with toes, and you can open your arms wide like a T. We'll add a little flow, and the intention is to start to feel a stretch in your inner thigh and wake up your glute, get it working. So inhale, sweep your left hand out and forward as you sink your right glute close toward your right calf. Exhale, press with your right heel to lift yourself back up. Inhale, sweep forward, sink in. Exhale. And as you continue with your breath, you could change the pace a little bit. I invite you not to speed it up too much. We are staying slow and intentional, paying attention to your movement and the transitions. Finish the round of breath that you're on. We'll meet back. Supported warrior 2, inhale. Exhale, come back, standing on your knees. And as you switch sides, bring your left foot forward. So again, starting in our grounded lunge, then kickstand your right toes. And you can adjust your stance or your feet. You have plenty of time here. Arms out wide like a T, gaze over your left middle finger. And then start to add your flow with breath. Inhale, sweep your right hand forward, sinking into your hip. Exhale, open, return to standing on your knee. And as you continue to move with your breath, check that your left knee tracks in line with your toes. Avoid it slaying in or rolling out too much. Time your transitions with your breath so you're never really holding in one spot, enjoying that movement. And then return. Supported warrior 2, inhale. Exhale, come back, standing on your knees. Inhale, reach your hands up. Exhale, sweep your right hand back. Inhale, standing. Exhale, sweep your left hand back. Inhale, standing. Squeeze your inner thighs, reach up. Exhale, child's pose. Full breath here. Inhale, standing on your knees. One more wave like this. Step your right foot up. Supported warrior 2. Kickstand your left toes. Inhale, arms come wide. Exhale, extended side angle or the supported variation. So right forearm can come to right thigh, left hand on your hip. Your right hand could come to a block or a stool or maybe down to the ground. And as you're really sinking deep into this hip, keep your chest open. Left hand could stay on your hip or sweep forward to the front of your space. Palm faces down, bicep by your ear. So whatever level or layer you're in, how's your breath? And as you start to build some heat, some sensation in your body, can you stay in that place of loving these simple gifts, being grateful for the work your body is doing? And then inhale, lift yourself up by pressing in with your front heel. Exhale, we'll come back to our supported side plank. This variation, base your left hand under your left shoulder, or a block, a little height might be nice. Go ahead and keep your right foot grounded. Toes point to the length of your mat, the long edge. As you sweep your right hand up and over, really look for a rainbow or a stretch through your right side body. So sending your outer ribs up as you reach your right fingertips down. And then slowly inhale, lift yourself back up. Supported warrior 2. Exhale, switch sides. Come to standing on your knees. Left foot comes forward. Supported warrior 2. Kickstand your right toes. Inhale. Exhale, extended side angle. Grounded variation. Forearm to thigh. Inside your leg or to a block. And you may notice that you want to lengthen or adjust your stance. Feel free. Left hand comes to the inside of your leg. Maybe sweep your right fingertips forward. How's your breath? Can you stay in this pose, in this present moment, not waiting for it to be done, not judging or critiquing, Just hear and breathe. Inhale, lift yourself up. Exhale, supported side plank. Base your right hand on the ground or a block. Straighten your left leg. Toes point to the long edge of your mat. As you sweep your left hand up and over, big stretch through your left side. Inhale, lift yourself up. Supported warrior 2. Exhale, come to standing on your knees. Last time, flowing on our knees. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, sweep your right hand back. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, left hand back. Inhale, strong legs, reach up a little higher. Exhale, traditional child's pose, Varasana. Breathe here. And then downward facing dog. Tuck your toes under, lift your hips up and back. So we won't be kneeling anymore. If you were using a blanket, you could always set it off to the side. And if you do have blocks, keeping those nearby. From downward facing dog, bend your knees a little bit. You can sway your hips side to side, adding little twists. Maybe even letting your heels fall side to side, almost like skier legs. So whatever lets you settle in, Adho Mukha Svanasana. And then slowly walk your hands to your feet, forward fold Uttanasana. And really release to gravity here. You can box out your arms, maybe add some gentle twists. Then base your left hand on a block or your mat. Add a big bend to your left knee. Inhale, reach your right hand high, open arm twist. And as you reach your right hand up, you can kind of sway your hips. You might be feeling a stretch on the outer part of your right hip. And you could even gaze up. Inhale. Exhale. Switch, lower your right hand down under or at the center of your mat as you bend your right knee. And your left hand could stay at your low back, your hip, or extend up toward the ceiling. Again, sway, move, let this feel good. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins, or they could stay on your blocks as you lengthen your spine. Exhale, forward fold. Balance on your right leg. Inhale, lift your left heel high, standing splits. So your standing splits, maybe your left toes hover away from your mat just a little bit. Maybe they're more like hip height, or maybe they're extended way up high to the ceiling. And don't overstretch or overdo it. Just find the height where you start to feel a big stretch activity. A lot of work in your outer right hip, in your right glutes. You're feeling the stretch maybe in the hamstrings. Inhale. Exhale, Shiva squat. Bend your right knee as you tuck your left knee behind. So try to bring your hips as low as you can while you lift your chest, really active in the legs. Inhale, back to standing splits. Exhale, forward fold. Lower your left foot down. You can just take a moment, bend your knees, sway it out. Other side, balance on your left leg. Inhale, reach your right heel high and breathe. So your knee and toes are staying pointed down, similar to when we were in bird dog earlier. We're not opening our hip just yet. So we're keeping the work in the outer hip. And soften your left knee so we don't have to have it locked out as you lift your right heel high. Inhale. Exhale. Shiva squat. Bend into your left knee. So really digging in with your left heel as you bring your hips low and lift your chest. Inhale, standing splits. Reach your right heel high. Exhale, forward fold. We're going to move through a little forward fold flow, what we just did. Inhale, reach your right hand high, open arm twist as you bend your left knee. Exhale, lower it down. Switch sides. Inhale, lift your left hand high, open arm twist, bend your right knee. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift your left heel high, standing splits. Exhale, Shiva squat. Bend your knees, lift your chest. Inhale, standing splits. Pause here. So if you happen to have your left heel really high, go ahead and lower it back down to about hip height, and then start to open your hip toward the left side of your space. Tent your fingertips, balance on your right hand, and maybe start to bring your left hand to your left hip. So building into half moon from the ground up. And as you open your hips, you can stay here with your left hand or start to reach up toward the ceiling. Similar to the balance we did at the beginning of class, you can play with your gaze. Activate your lifted leg, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Soften your right knee, lower your left hand and left foot down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Other side. Inhale, lift your right heel high, standing splits. Exhale, Shiva squat. Inhale, standing splits, but more at that hip height. And then exhale, start to open your hips to the right. So take it slow. You can soften your left knee as you open your chest. Right hand could stay in a little tent on a block or chair, or find your hip, or reach for the ceiling. And if you have a lot of weight in your left hand, you can start to lightly come to your fingertips, or even hover away. Activate your right leg, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Come down soft and gentle. Right hand, right foot. Inhale, open arm twist to reach your right hand up, bend your left knee. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, open arm twist, lift your left hand high. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Last wave in our forward fold flow. Inhale, lift your left heel high, standing splits. Exhale, Shiva squat. Inhale, standing splits, more at hip height. This time, continue to breathe. We're going to move into a twist. So start to lengthen your spine. Base your left hand. You can get right in your right hand, or start to bring your right hand to your hip, or start to twist your chest open toward the right side of your space. So if you start with your hand at your sacrum, at your low back, the triangle bone at the base of your spine, you can feel your hips stay level. We want to avoid the left hip kind of dipping down. Active in your left leg. Maybe reach your right fingertips up toward the ceiling. And again, you can play with your gaze. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Land soft. Inhale, halfway lift. Just take a moment, neutralize your spine before the other side. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach your right heel high, standing splits. Exhale, Shiva squat. And you might be seeing a little more range of motion in this repetition. Inhale, standing splits, pause at hip height, and continue to breathe. So take a moment to kind of find that halfway lift with your spine, or the tabletop shape we were working earlier. Base your right hand, start to get light in your left fingertips. So like bird dog, maybe bring your left hand to your low back as you twist your chest open. So I start to feel a lot of sensation on the outside of my left leg, my outer hip. You might feel that too. Keep a soft bend in your left knee. Maybe extend your left fingertips up toward the ceiling. All the while breathing. Take a moment before we transition. Find some appreciation, some gratitude for the simple gifts. Whatever shape your body is in, inhale. Exhale, forward fold, gentle as you lower out. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, toe stand. Lift your heels high so you can continue to use your blocks for support. And as you bend your knees, sink your hips onto your heels. You could have your blocks more outside your hips for a little balance. You could maybe play with bringing hands together at heart center. Ooh. Squeeze your inner thighs. Think of squeezing your heels into the midline. Use your core strength. Press in with your palms. We're here for 3. We'll have a seat in 2. 1, maybe reach forward, lower heels, then hips, or whatever transition comes. We'll sit up for some Marichyasana, some seated spinal twist. Extend your left leg long. Draw your right heel into your seat and sit tall. So maybe placing a blanket under your hips or the towel, get that little extra height for a moment. Take a moment to sit up. And then exhale, twist. So I like the hug variation. Give your right leg a hug with your left arm and then open. The tricep to thigh might work better for your body. So you could always play around with it, but stay rooted. Avoid rocking into your left hip as you sit tall. Inhale. Exhale. As you turn back to center, I'll present a couple of options. Either Gomukhasana legs, right knee over left as you tuck your heels in to kind of frame your hips, or Sukhasana, right shin crosses in front of left shin. So take the variation that feels right. As you inhale, sit tall. Exhale, lean forward. So that might just be a subtle lean forward. Maybe you find a little more depth. And know that one isn't better than the other. If I'm in Sukhasana, I can get my forearms down and add some traction and really get some sensation through my outer hips. When I'm in Gomukhasana, I don't get as much fold, and it just feels different. It's less of a stretch in my low back as well, and it's just centering on the hips. So you can play with the different shapes and just find what feels right in this practice. Inhale, sit back up. Unwind. We'll switch sides. Draw your left knee in, extend your right leg long, and take a little time to sit tall. Again, you can use a blanket or any support, strong and active in your right leg, and then start to move into your twist, Marichyasana C. Either find the hug in your left leg or tricep to thigh. Root down in both sit bones. Try to lift or elevate the crown of your head up toward your ceiling as you find your twist. So we've done a lot of twists today. Notice maybe you're gazing to a new spot at the back of your space. Inhale. Exhale. Come back to center. Your choice. Gomukhasana, cross left knee this time over right knee, or Sukhasana with left shin in front. Whatever you choose, start to lean forward and breathe. Spring can be a season with so much beauty, especially here in the Northwest. I'm from Texas. We don't really have seasons. It feels like it goes from cold to really hot. So I love spring here, but there's also a grittiness to it. Working in the soil, more activity, and just notice your routines and own your routines. What feels good for you? And then lift your chest up, unwind, and bring your heels to the top corners of your mat. You could hold on to your shins or the backs of your thighs. We'll take a few rounds of cow-cat spine and then end up on our backs. So inhale, lift your chest up. Exhale, cat spine, drawing chin to chest round. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Last one. Inhale, big shoulder roll. Lift your heart up. And exhale, slowly uncurl all the way to your back. So Round your spine and maybe feel one vertebra at a time land. Really dig in with your heels and land soft. Walk your heels into your seat. Reclined half pigeon. Bring your right ankle to your right thigh. Flex your foot, open your knee. Stay here or float your left shin or start to draw your leg unit into your chest. Tuck your chin slightly so you're not craning your neck. The back of your neck stays long. You could add a little sway or movement. That adds so much sensation for my body when I move. Lower your left foot down, arms wide like a T, and we'll move into a twist. So you choose. You could keep this figure four shape. Let your right foot fall to the left edge of your mat. You could find eagle legs, threading the right leg over the left, or just unwind and stack your knees. Placing a block under your left thigh can take some strain out of your low back, so just pay attention to how this feels. Check that your shoulders are grounded and maybe even gaze toward your right hand. Slowly return. Lift your legs back up to point the ceiling and switch sides. Right foot grounds down. Left ankle to right thigh, and just be mindful that you flex your foot and then open your knee. Great place to stay or find any layer. And you could always add a gentle opening, like pressing your left hand into your left knee. You could add by capturing your right shin. That doesn't really work for me. All of a sudden I'm lifting off the ground. But if you have longer arms or just are more flexible, that might be nice in your body. Again, maybe that little sway. And then lower your right foot down, arms wide like a T, and find your twist on this side. So I liked using the support of the block under my legs. You could always bring your right hand to your belly and really feel your breath. Showing love means paying attention and being grateful for the little gifts. And then make your way back up. Unwind your legs if you're in a cross, and draw both knees into your chest to give your legs a hug. You could even pick your forehead up to your knees, get tight like a ball as you inhale. Exhale, release. Shavasana, your final resting pose. So this could look like constructive rest, feet wide, knees knocked together. It could look like legs extended, taking up space. Maybe placing your blanket over your body, getting a little bit of grounding and warmth. Letting your breath just be even and an ease in your breath, in your body, in your mind. Whether you've just come out of hibernation or you're pretty deep into an active season, what does your perfect love look like? Being authentic and true to your wants and your needs. And being grateful for your simple gifts. Be aware of your breath. Be aware of your body, stretching fingers out, pointing your toes, and then drawing them in, curling your toes, making fists in your hands, kind of pulsing, letting your movement get bigger. Then inhale, full body stretch. Point your toes, reach your fingertips overhead. Exhale, roll to whatever side body is calling your name. Our right side is said to be solar, more energizing, like if you are waking up, rolling out of bed, roll off to your right side. Left is said to be lunar, more calming. So if you're getting ready for bed, rolling that way. But just trust your instincts, whatever feels good. And then press on up, Sukhasana, your comfortable seat. I invite you to keep your eyes closed or just find a soft gaze down. Press your palms together at heart center, Anjali Mudra. Remember, it's the choices you make that define who you are far more than your abilities. Thank you for choosing to practice your yoga. Lift your thumbs, to the center of your forehead. We'll close with one final breath. Inhale. Exhale. Thank you so much, friends. And just coming back to this poem, this season of spring doesn't always have to be flowers and bird song. It can get a little muddy and it can get a little dirty, and just offer grace when it does. Thank you.